Welcome back to my channel. My name is Deanee, and if you didn't know, now you know, and that's just that and all that. Period. I'm gonna jump right into the video. I ain't gonna waste no time. If you have not already subscribed, I'm gonna give you a second. Go ahead and subscribe. All right, time's up. Okay, so this is a story time. This story time definitely happened recently. So before I jump in, let me give y'all some story time context, some background. So this happened in May as in this year, and I've known the person in this video for, I want to say, almost 10 years now. Almost, not a full 10 years, almost 10 years. So we looking at between like 5 to, I want to say, 7, 8, or 9 years. Somewhere in that range. I've known a person a very long time. So with that being said, yeah, when this happened, I was not expecting it to happen, because there are some friends you really just, certain things they just know it's not gonna fly, like it's not gonna sit right. And for that person to kind of get funky with me and to get an attitude with me, yeah, jumping right in. So the place we chose to go was Puerto Rico. This is definitely still during the pandemic. I mean, because it's still a pandemic now, but it was kind of like still, it was the middle of the pandemic. Let me say that. It was the middle of the pandemic. Not the beginning, but getting towards the middle. We went to Puerto Rico, and me and my best friend touched down first. And my sister, my mom, and my sister's best friend got there the day after. My godmother couldn't come because she ended up having to do something else. I forgot what it was, so clearly it's not that important. But anyways, get there, you know, we're having a good time, whatever. So I find out, I want to say the day before we leave, that my friend, let's call her, we're gonna call her, she ain't shit. So she ain't shit. I found out that she ain't shit was in Puerto Rico, in San Juan, and I was in San Juan too. So she's like, hey, you know, we gotta link up while we here, we're on vacation, yada yada yada. I'm like, all right, cool. My best friend was like, yeah, we can go link up with her, that's fine. So the first night I get there, I call her and I'm like, hey girl, what hotel are you in? You know, how far are you from my hotel? You know, what's the best spots to go to? Because she apparently had been there for like, she had been in Puerto Rico for at least 2 or 3 days already. So she probably already had like an idea of what it was giving on the island, you know? So she tells me, she's like, hey, we can't link up tonight because I got to do so-and-so. If y'all see me scratching my head, I'm so sorry. I just got my hair done and it's itchy. Anyways, so yeah, she already knew kind of all the spots, whatever. So I was like, all right, cool, you know, let's link up, you know, the next day. So the next get here is, I think that first night me and my best friend went out just by ourselves. We went to La Placita. Yes, La Placita. So La Placita is supposed to be kind of like their club, bar, and restaurant area, where all, like, everybody was outside. I mean, everybody. Wasn't no mask out. Did nobody have a mask on? Okay, that was the first thing. And, you know, when we were getting there, or getting close to closing time. And that's a whole nother story time, because I have a whole story about what happened when we went to the bar that first night in Puerto Rico. But anyways, in San Juan, sorry. So let's jump into it. So we meet up with my friend. I want to say the second night we're there, my family, well, my sister, my mom, and my sister's best friend are there now. So they made me TripAdvisor. So I had to go find all the best places for us to go eat, places for us to go do stuff. Like, that was all on me. So I found this restaurant called Rustica. And it was really good. The food was bomb. It's a steakhouse. The food was really bomb. I'm not really a steak person, but I ate me some steak that day. It was the bee's knees, okay? So we get there and we're eating our food. It's now like, I want to say 10:30, 11 at night. And, you know, things are still up and popping still, even though if they close at midnight, people are not going inside at midnight. They're just kind of like leaving the club and stuff. So they're just outside, you know, living. So she texted me, she texts me, and she's like, hey, you know, it looks like things are closing at La Placita. Let's go to La Perla. So she sends me the address of where we're supposed to be. Only there's really no address. It's big sister and little sisters. We're going to have a good time. period. Putting in the Uber La Perla. And from what I'm Googling, it just says that it's a neighborhood in Old San Juan. So I'm like, okay, a neighborhood. Like, it's not really telling me anything big. I'm gonna just, you know, if I can, I'll post a picture of what I Googled here, because I could probably still Google it and it'll still say the same shit. So I'll Google a picture right here. This is what I searched, and it was just showing me pictures of like these beautiful buildings that were colorful. It says it's in Old San Juan, which was, I want to say, 10 to 15 minutes from where I was, right? But that was a $30 Uber trip. And because there's so much traffic trying to get exactly to that place where we were going, we had to kind of like get out and walk. I want to say like 3 or 4 blocks to get to where the actual place was. So when we get there, where we got out, on this side of the street, you guys, there is like a bar, there's a restaurant, people are sitting there eating, they're vibing. And then you see like there's an alleyway, there might be like more bars, whatever. And then it goes more into Old San Juan. On this side, I didn't see anything but darkness. Walking around, and we're trying to figure it out. So I'm calling, she ain't shit. I'm calling her, and she ain't answering. So I'm sending her a text like, hey, where you at? Like, what's up? Still no answer. So now we've been there for, I want to say, a good 15 minutes trying to walk around and find things. So I see a sign, and it's kind of like a dark sign. Like, you could tell, like, maybe the lights weren't lit on it or something. And it says La Perla, Comunidad. So my little bit of Spanish all my life, that little couple bajillion Spanish class that I took, Comunidad means community. So I'm like, okay, so this is a community, but I couldn't see the community. All I saw was steps to hell. So if you ever seen SpongeBob where he goes to rock bottom, or you ever seen a SpongeBob movie where he's walking down the trench, it kind of looked like that, except there was no monster spot with me. That's the problem. It was dark. So we walking down the steps, and it's like, I'm already nervous, because I'm like, we get to the top of the steps, and my sister and her best friend are like, and in my head, I'm like, but I'm trying to be the really good friend, because I did tell she ain't shit that I was gonna link up with her. And my sister is my mom to the fullest. She's looking like, no. Me, I'm the kind of person, like, I'm thinking good about it. I'm like, no, we're gonna be all right. We're gonna be good. I don't really trust this, but you know, she would not put us in any harm. She would not try to harm us. So what we tripping about? Come on, y'all. Like, she ain't shit wouldn't do that. This is one of my closest friends. Like, come on. And you know, they both know her, so they're like, nah, we don't think she would do that. So there was this girl coming up the steps, and mind you, these were not little steps. There had to be at least 2 flights, and the second flight got darker. So Neen, that's my sister's best friend, she's like, hey, like, tell her to meet us. So I'm like, all right, cool. So I call she ain't shit, and she finally answers the phone, and she's like, hey, where you at? I'm like, my nigga, well, where the hell are you? Because we walk around here looking stupid, looking like tourists, and the last thing you want is to be on territory that ain't yours, and people know that it ain't yours. And I don't know if y'all know, in Puerto Rico, at least in San Juan, I didn't see too many chocolate folk. No shade. Don't come for me in the comments. I'm just telling y'all what I saw. I didn't see too many chocolate folk. And then the other part about it is, they know when you are not from PR, especially because you don't speak with an accent. Your Spanish is rudimentary to them, if that's the right word. Y'all correct me in the comments if I use the right word. It's rudimentary. And then on top of that, there ain't too many beautiful chocolate folk. There's like probably like 5 or 6 specks that I saw that looked like me, and 3 of them were me and 2 other people that I knew. So I'm just saying, you do the math. So she's like, hey, walk down them steps. So I'm like, well, I only see 1 set of steps. She's like, yeah, walk down those. So guys, when you got to the top of those steps and you looked down at what was coming, first of all, it was a big wall attached to these steps. Second of all, it was very dark. Very dark. And I mean, at the bottom of the steps, you saw houses, right? Like these little shack type row houses that had like backyards attached, like little backyards attached to them. Like this was the hood. And then it was like little dark, very dark alleyways right in between these little houses. So, and mind you, there was like a street light, probably I want to say every 1,700 feet. So you do the math of how dark it was. Just saying. So she's like, yeah, walk down the steps. Once you get to the bottom of the steps, make a right and then make a left. So I'm really nervous now. And I'm nervous because it's me by my damn self and I don't have none of my weapons because you can't take them shits on the flight. I ain't got no knife. I ain't got no knuckles. Damn sure don't got my taser. I don't even have my keys because what the hell am I need my keys for in Puerto Rico? Whose door am I opening? Not my car door, not my house. So whose door? All I got is a room key and my little cash and my little vaccination card and my phone. Okay, moving on. So my sister, it's already anxious and nervous. Me, I'm anxious and nervous, but I can't show that because I got to be the big sister right now. And I got to make sure it look like shit is okay. And Neen is like, I don't know about this, but fuck it. So we get to the first flight of the steps and we look down and this shit is dark, y'all. It's dark. And I don't see nobody down there. I don't see nobody walking. I hear music, but the music is so far away, it ain't even echoing. It's like a faint noise all the way out there somewhere. It ain't in here. It's out there. So, all right. I'm still trying to be positive. I'm like, you know what? She ain't shit, y'all. She would never do this to us. She wouldn't do nothing crazy. Come on, let's just go. She said she's going to meet us. So then we get to that flying sheets. I hear she ain't shit right there calling from like the street lamp that's like 1,700 feet over there. And she's like, D, let's go. Bring y'all asses on. So I'm like, bitch, don't be yelling my government name out here. Something might come outside and try and get us. Like, it's really weird because her vibe was just off. First of all, she looked pissed. And second of all, it's like she greeted us, but half-ass greeted us. And my sister's already perturbed. Like, my sister's just not feeling it at all. Like, she got an attitude now because it's like... So I'm still trying to be me. I'm like, hey, girl. She introduced me to her little friend. And she's like, hey, so... you ready to go? We got to walk back. We got a little bit of a walk. So I'm like, a little bit of a walk? Like, where are we walking to? These are backyards. She's like, oh, it's a little bit of a walk. It's a little bit of a vibe, you know. But you can't use your phone. You can't have your phone out. You can't take pictures.
Wait a damn minute.
That was about 5 red flags for me. So if you know me, you must know that my little sister loves to take pictures. My sister and her best friend are picture queens, okay? They're going to Instagram it up for you. They're going to take the best pictures. They're going to find the best scenery, the best lighting. My sister's going to do it up. My sisters, yes, her and her best friend, my sisters are going to do it up. So for you to tell me that they can't use their phone, now I'm concerned because they also hard-headed. So they the type to kind of try and sneak and use their phone and not take no pictures of nobody, but take pictures of their damn self, and then boom, we all dead. And this is how the friend fucked up. So it's not she ain't shit. This is she ain't shit's friend. So shit's friend. Let's go with shit. So there's she ain't shit and shit. So shit's like, yeah, you guys can't use their phone. The last person that used their phone, they told us the last person that used their phone, he got burned and chopped up and sent 12 miles away from here. That's the wrong fucking story to be kiki and ha-ha and telling people who are already scared because they don't have to walk down the dark ass steps by themselves. 2, I don't know you. And 3, there ain't no damn lights around here. So you telling me we can't use our phone? And then you want to tell me that somebody who did use their phone ended up burned and skinned and chopped up? I'm really like, yo, you don't want to do nothing else. She ain't shit. Like, you don't want to go somewhere else. Like, we could still, you know, figure, oh, nah, like, they said it's a vibe there. They got weed. You just can't use your phone. And I'm like, I can't use my phone. My mom wants to know where we at, if we made it here, if we're okay. Like, so she's like, she ain't shit, looks at me. Oh, so what you want to do? So my sister steps in because she sees me getting mad. And I'm really trying to hold it together because I've gotten really good with holding on to my anger and not. So you have an attitude because my sister is asking you questions. We're unsure about where we're at. You're telling us we can't use our phone. That sounds dangerous. And then you have the nerve to finish it off with a story about a man who was burned, skinned, and chopped up alive for using his phone. You're not that ass. So she looks like, well, I'm just saying. So I look, now I step in because I'm like, big sister's getting pissed. So I stepped in and I'm like, I'm not letting my two little sisters go home by themselves. I said, I want to say that I trust your judgment, but I'm not letting my sisters go home by themselves. One. Two, you can't be that dumb to be in a place where you cannot use communication, or you have to be silent or quiet about your whereabouts, or you can't say the wrong thing. You do know you are an American, right? These people are considered Americans, but they don't give a damn about us. And they know we're not from here. You are darker than me. You don't fit the criteria, honey. So she's like, well, your sisters are grown. Oh, okay. I say, you know what? You have a nice night. We're going to go back to the hotel. Let me know when you get in. Y'all, I'm not going to lie to you. At that point, even still talking about it still pisses me off, because at that point, she ain't shit could have got dragged right there and I would have left her. But because I know her family and because she's a friend from back home, I just kind of like, my view about you changed a little bit. And if you ever do see this, I hope you understand, like, you probably didn't mean anything by your naiveness or your ignorance behind wanting to just have fun. But you also got to understand how dangerous that sounds. To be on territory that you're unaware of. It's you and one other person. You can't use your phones, all to buy some weed and to catch a vibe. That don't sound safe to me. That's not adulting. That's not having fun. That's getting ready to be a part of something stupid. And then it's like, boom, you know? So me, my sister, and Neen, we're walking back up the steps. And it took us about 30 minutes to find an Uber back to our hotels. 15 minutes a part of like modernized San Juan, because we were in old San Juan. Y'all, I was so pissed off. We had to walk all the way back to the beginning of old San Juan to find a cab, or at least our Uber, or to call an Uber, because there was so much traffic where we were and nobody wanted to come over where we were to come get us. Y'all, let me tell you how pissed off I really was. It got to the point where I got home. I'm telling my best friend, because me and my best friend hotel room was 2 floors under my mom, my sister, and her best friend's hotel room. My mom, I'm pretty sure, already knew what happened, but she was just like, you know, you made the right call. And F her. Fuck that bitch. My mom is that kind of person. My best friend was like, you know, I'm so glad you chose to come back. She was like, I'm glad, you know, you controlled yourself when you got pissed off. She was like, because I know you. And my best friend was like, something just told me like that was just not, something wasn't right. She was like, and I'm glad you came back because I was going to call you. She was like, because something just told me that it wasn't right. I haven't to this day spoken to She Ain't Shit. And for me, it's more of a situation of, I know your family and you have a little sister literally a year or the same year of age as my sister. But that doesn't take away from the fact that you are still a big sister. So you have to understand the situation. I would not expect a friend of mine to put me in a predicament like that for fun. That's not fun. That's actually scary, because anything can happen, you know? Especially when you are unaware of what's going on or who's around you. You don't know these people. First of all, I don't even smoke. So for me to be on an island in a community that does not look safe, super dark, can't use my phone, to buy some weed, absolutely not. So when I got home, something told me, well, when I got back to my hotel, not even home, when I got back to my hotel, something told me to kind of Google the community again. So when I Googled the community, kind of like the picture I put up before, I'm going to definitely have to insert it now. Kind of like the picture I put up before, it was definitely something that appeared in the news. So the guy happened to be somebody from the U.S., and he was on vacation or something like that. Apparently, he was a big like drug dealer or whatever in Delaware, some shit like that. And him and his friend went to go, I guess, cop. For those who don't know what that means, it means you went to go purchase weed or whatever. He went to go make a transaction, a drug transaction. And if I'm not mistaken, he took a picture of himself in front of something, or a video kind of like of his surroundings or whatever. And they asked him to put the video, like erase the video, take it down, because it draws police. They were scared it would draw police attention. Apparently that area that we were at is the biggest drug community of San Juan or Puerto Rico. I'm not sure, but yes. And they were scared that the video, they asked you not to use your phones because the videos or pictures draw police presence or activity, you know, which is understandable. If you're doing illegal activity, you don't want no police involvement, just saying. So then she, they got into a scuffle and they killed him. They skinned him, burned him, and he was sent somewhere down the coast apparently. And the friend, I don't know what happened to the friend, but they said the friend got away. So I'm guessing he made it back through the dark community and up the steps, the evil trench steps, and was able to get away. So just after Googling that story, it pissed me off because I'm like, I would never put my friends in a situation like that. Granted, I was thankful to God nothing happened, but I couldn't picture that, you know, I couldn't picture having that thought in my head. So to this day, I still have not spoken to She Ain't Shit. Like, she follows me on Instagram. She likes pictures of mine. It's really crazy because you would think I would block her. I'm just not on that type of timing. I'm not about to go through the motions of blocking people no more. As much as I would like to, I don't have to give you that type of energy. I don't need you to think that you're important to me. You're not. You're just cut off. And we have mutual friends, but at the same time, I can't see myself speaking to you or calling you a friend after putting myself and my sister and her best friend in potential danger like that. Like, I wouldn't, that's not what a friend would do. I wouldn't do that to you and your siblings. I'm the type to be like, yo, I found a sky zone. Let's go indoor skydiving. I found us a bar we could go to that stays open till 3 or 4 a.m. But you wanted to go to somebody's hood in another island to get weed, and we can't even be ourselves and do what we normally do as millennials and take pictures and videos? Please. So that is my story time of how I was set up in Puerto Rico on vacation. And if this is a story time that you liked and you think you want to hear more story times, please make sure that you are subscribed to join the party at Z, because how you going to hate from outside the club when I told you what you could do to get in?